What's up, bitches? Listen, something that I think has been a major theme throughout my entire life is the theme of love. Now, I feel like if I am looking back on my life, I have been so blessed to experience so many types of love. And I feel like as I've moved through all these different types and I've learned about them and I've explored them and I've experienced them, first there was the love of my core family, my nuclear family, right? I had my mother, my brother, my father, and they loved me. They loved me. And that felt amazing. And it was just like I could just be myself and they were just enamored of me. And I was very fortunate. I did not have a particularly traumatic childhood. My childhood was filled with love. And then I moved on to friends, really good friends, all different kinds of acquaintances, love. This is funny because I always say, I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth as soon as I start talking, because this is not the story that I was specifically planning on bringing, but I guess I felt like I needed a little backstory. And then there was unrequited love for years. Lots of the pain side of love, the darker side of love, and the extents to which I personally would beat myself up, depress myself, blame myself, injure myself for love. And I would do anything for love. Meatloaf. So, all these different types of love. The first love that I think I had in the beginning was also the first love that I lost. And they call this the sacred wound. And I 100% agree with that statement. The sacred wound. When you lose that love of yourself, you lose so much. And that to me is the most important love, because if I had that, if I had kept that, I could have accomplished so much more, but I didn't. And that is also fucking great. Because I lost that, I get to get it back, and it gets to be stronger and rooted and all these wonderful, beautiful things. And I get to explore more of it. Consciously, purposefully explore self-love. Now, when my husband was getting ready, was preparing to pass away, we didn't know what was going on, but he was preparing to pass away. And also when my father was preparing to pass away, there was a couple of numbers that I kept seeing. 27 and 42. 27 and 42. And I noticed these numbers repeatedly leading up to their passings. And I always thought, I looked up angel numbers and it, read the meaning, and it really did not resonate with what I thought these numbers meant. Until one day, and I had the answer right there in front of me this whole fucking time. One day I looked and it was right there in human design. Human design, which is what I had claimed to the universe that I was going to be trying, that I was going to be following. Gate 27 is the gate of nurturing. And the foundation of this is nurturing yourself first. The very first line, nurturing yourself. Now, I'm a fourth line being. I do not have this gate defined in my chart, which means that this is an area of education for me. This is my school. This is where I get to learn. And as a fourth line being, this is about taking that energy and giving it to the world, right? So it's like, because I nurture myself, I am now able to nurture others boundlessly. But I hadn't been doing that for quite a long time. I am queen at nurturing others. Today I went to the dentist and I was telling them, I can't even remember the last time I myself have gone to the dentist, because I have always scheduled appointments for my children for years. I literally can't remember the last time I went to the dentist for myself. So anyway, there's something really important here. I'm trying to get to it. That self-love, I have this theory of the cone of oh God, what is the word? Words, come on, where are you? Influence, control. You have really strong influence inside of yourself. Really strong influence inside of yourself. And as you move away from the self, you've got your immediate realm of influence, which for me would be my children. And then you move out to your friends and acquaintance, and family and things like that. And maybe you move out to like acquaintances and your community and your city community, your neighborhood community. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And as you move out from that, your strength of influence gets weaker. But everything begins inside of here. You react to things on the outside of you based on what's going on inside of you. So if you're naturally a pessimistic person, for example, and something happens to you inside, you will find a way to find the pessimism in that situation. I find that I am an optimistic person, so I naturally find a way to be optimistic. I find the silver lining in everything. My husband used to say that I was delusional in how I lived my life. I live in like this delusional world. Fine, whatever. The point is, I did not have the self-love that I needed to carry me through. I lost that. Now I am at a place in my life where I am exploring how much I can love myself. When you talk to human design enthusiasts, they will often sign their emails or whatever with love yourself. I have been doing a lot, like throughout my life, I've always done a lot of spiritual development, personal development. The goal here, because I follow the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. This is self-realization. To me, self-realization means you are learning about the self, realizing who you are. You're realizing who you are. You're discovering who you are already. And that to me is so tied into self-love, because in order to realize who you are, you have to allow who you really are. And this is the thing that human design really helps you to get to the heart of who you really are. Human design helps you to peel away the parts of you, the conditioned parts of you, the parts of you that you have, picked up from other people because you wanted to be normal, because you took this into you and you decided that this was who you are, but it wasn't who you were actually naturally meant to be in this embodiment. And self-realization is the path that people take to realize who they are, and ultimately we are all one. You discover through the path the oneness that is present in all of us. And when you allow yourself, as you discover and allow yourself, and especially those parts that you have always thought of, there's a train, that you have always thought of as being shadow parts and scary parts and parts that you didn't like about yourself and the parts that you hid away. You know what I'm talking about. I don't need to tell you. When you start to allow those parts, you bring them into the light, you realize that they are a part of you, and they are purposeful, and they are useful, and they are beautiful. You allow them. You learn to allow yourself first. And you wrap that up in love. So this is self-love. And the way that you discover who you are is by doing the thing. It happens over time. You don't learn to trust yourself until you do things that require you to trust yourself. And over time, you learn to trust yourself. And when you trust yourself and you know yourself and you allow yourself, you begin to love yourself. The question I've asked is, if I can love a man so much, put him up on a pedestal, and when I love a man, I see all the different parts of him, even the parts that he considers to be shadow, that he considers that need to be hidden away, that need to be protected. And it causes him to have certain kind of behaviors, all these things. I love him. That's how I loved my husband. And that is a beautiful thing, that I am able to do that. But what if, and this is the question, what if I loved myself like that? What if every bit as much as I loved my husband, what if I turned that inside and loved myself that fully and completely? How amazing would that be? Because that's, I think, we're in this gate 35. This is the last day, gate line 6 of boundlessness. What if loving yourself that much is like, when you go into these fun houses with the mirrors, blah, 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 and you stand in front of a mirror and there's a mirror behind you, and it's like you go on, your image goes on towards infinity because they're just bouncing back and forth off of each other forever and ever and ever. What if that's what happens inside of you? And that's how you get it to be enough, so that you're nurturing yourself and also able, because there's boundless amounts of it, to unconditionally love literally every fucking body. Every fucking body. This is a question that I've had, right? Because, I think back to all those years ago when I experienced an intense amount of betrayal by my country for what do you call it? Come on, words. Voting in Donald Trump. I bring this up because he is like the epitome of someone that, to me, this is my experience of him, mine, is not deserving of my love. Like, how do you love someone like that who is not deserving of your love? Someone who traumatized you as a child. I'm not saying that he did. I'm just saying, as an example, someone who traumatized you as a child. You still have to love them. If you have that boundless amount of love, and this was a question I asked back in February, are you even able to have a relationship with someone else? Because at that point, everything that you need has already been fulfilled. And if you can be in a relationship, what does that relationship even look like? I can't even fathom. So this idea of boundlessness and how do you get there, that self-realization, this path of self-realization is also a path of self-love. And if I could help people to understand that, to walk that path, this path that I myself have been on, these are the people who are ready for that. These are my people. These are my people. Through the vehicle of human design or not. I have so much experience in metaphysical and things like that. And I'm so curious about it in like mystery school teachings and all that. So that's the thought. That's the thought. Let me know what you think. Let me know the way that it hit you, if it had an impact on you in any way, if it inspired you. That's the word. If I inspired you today, please write down your inspirations and send them to me in a chat, in a reply, email me something. I want to know if I inspired you and in what way today with what is my message today. All right, bitches. Love y'all. Peace out. And I will talk to you next time.